Hola a todos y bienvenidos a Learn Spanish like I did. I'm Wesley and I'm absolutely thrilled to be back for a brand new season.
And I'm Emilio. Wesley, it's fantastic to be here. We've got an episode that's just perfect for anyone at an A2 level, or even if you're just starting to feel more confident with your Spanish.
Today we're diving into something super practical, daily routines, and with that comes one of the most fundamental, yet often tricky, parts of Spanish grammar for English speakers, reflexive verbs. We're going to make them click for you by following a young architect named Clara through her morning in Madrid.
Think of it as a mini-story, a little glimpse into everyday life, but with all the Spanish vocabulary and grammar unpacked. You'll hear these verbs and expressions in a really natural conversational context, which is key for truly understanding and remembering them.
That's the idea. We want you to not just memorize conjugations, but to feel how these words flow in a real-life scenario. So, close your eyes for a second. Imagine the warm Madrid sun just beginning to peek over the rooftops. The city is waking up, and so is our protagonist, Clara.
Okay, I'm there. I can almost smell the freshly baked bread. So the alarm clock goes off. What's the very first thing Clara does, and how do we say that in Spanish?
The very first action is despertarse. That means to wake up. So Clara se despierta a las 7. Clara wakes up at 7 o'clock.
Ah, despertarse. See, that's at the end of the infinitive. That's our big clue, our little neon sign, telling us this is a reflexive verb. It means the action is reflecting back on Clara. She's waking herself up.
Exactly. She's not waking up her roommate, she's waking herself up. So when we conjugate it, that sits changes. It becomes me for I too for you, se for he she it you formal, nos for we, os for you all informal in Spain, and se again for they you all formal. So, yo me despierto, tú te despiertas, ella se despierta.
It really is all about that little pronoun matching the subject. So Clara se despierta. But you know, waking up and actually getting out of bed are two very different things for some of us, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely guilty of hitting snooze more times than I care to admit. So, after she's awake, the next crucial step in Clara's routine, and another key reflexive verb, is levantarse, to get up. So, después de despertarse, Clara se levanta. After waking up, Clara gets up.
Okay, levantarse. Again, the sits indicates she's getting herself up, not lifting a heavy box, but lifting her own body out of bed. These self-directed actions are where reflexive verbs truly shine in Spanish.
Precisely. It's a fundamental pattern. Think about it. You wake yourself, you get yourself up, it just clicks. So, yo me levanto temprano, I get up early, or if you're like me, yo me levanto tarde, I get up late.
Late sounds a lot better. Once Clara's on her feet, where does she head next in her Madrid apartment?
She heads straight to the bathroom, and another classic daily routine verb, ducharse, to shower. So, Clara se ducha rápidamente. Clara showers quickly, to get that day started right.
Ah, ducharse. Reflexive again, because you're showering yourself. If you were showering a pet, for instance, you wouldn't use the sis, you'd just say duchar al perro. That distinction is so important, right?
That's a fantastic point, Emilio. If the action is performed by the subject and on the subject, it's usually reflexive. Me ducho, te duchas, se ducha. It's almost like the Spanish language puts a spotlight on the self aspect of these actions.
I like that, a spotlight on the self. After her quick shower, Clara's probably feeling refreshed. What's next for getting truly ready?
Well, she definitely needs to wash her face. So, Clara se lava la cara. To wash one's face is lavarse la cara. And of course, brush her teeth. Ella se cepilla los dientes. That's cepillarse los dientes.
Perfect additions. So many of these personal hygiene actions are reflexive. Lavarse, cepillarse. Again, you're washing your own face, brushing your own teeth. Makes total sense when you think about it that way.
It does, doesn't it? It just feels natural once you grasp that core concept. Then, of course, after she's clean and fresh, she needs to get dressed. So, she se viste. Clara se viste con ropa cómoda para ir a trabajar. Clara gets dressed in comfortable clothes for going to work.
Vestirse. This one can sometimes catch English speakers off guard, because in English we just say, get dressed. We don't usually say, get myself dressed, unless there's an unusual context. But in Spanish, it's almost always reflexive. It's not optional.
That's a fantastic point. English often omits the reflexive pronoun where Spanish requires it. So, me visto, te vistes, se viste. It's a classic example of a verb that often trips up A2 learners, but it's crucial for sounding natural.
It really is, and once you start thinking action on self, it becomes much easier. So, she's showered, she's washed her face, brushed her teeth, and she's dressed. What about her hair? Does she peinarse?
You bet. Peinarse means to comb one's hair or to do one's hair, so Clara se peina y se maquilla un poco. Clara combs her hair and puts on a little makeup. Maquillarse is another excellent example of a reflexive verb for personal grooming.
Oh, two for the price of one, peinarse and maquillarse. So, just like vestirse, these are actions she's applying to herself. It just reinforces that rule. And for men, as you mentioned before, afeitarse, to shave, is another common one.
Exactly. So, we've built up quite a list. Despertarse, levantarse, ducharse, lavarse, cepillarse, vestirse, peinarse, maquillarse, afeitarse. That's a powerful toolkit for describing a morning routine.
It truly is, and notice how they all paint a picture of actions done to oneself. Now what about breakfast? Does she se desayuna?
That's a brilliant question, and it brings us to an important distinction. The verb for to have breakfast is desayunar. It is not reflexive. So Clara desayuna café y tostadas con aguacate. Clara has coffee and toast with avocado for breakfast.
Ah, the avocado toast. Very Madrid, but this is super important. Why isn't desayunar reflexive when so many other daily actions are? This is where learners can get a bit confused.
It's because while you're the one eating breakfast, the action isn't strictly reflecting back on yourself in the same intimate, self-directed way as showering or dressing. You're consuming food. It's a direct action towards the food, not towards your person in the reflexive sense.
Yeah, you're not breakfasting yourself, you're just breakfasting. The same goes for comer to eat or beber to drink. They're not reflexive unless, as we joked earlier, you're doing something very unusual.
Let's definitely stick to Clara's delicious non-reflexive breakfast, so she's fueled up, feeling good and ready to tackle her day. What's the final step before she heads out?
She needs to leave for work, so she'll probably salir from her apartment. Clara sale de casa. Clara leaves the house. Salir is generally not reflexive, it's just to leave a place.
Another excellent non-reflexive example to keep in mind. However, you'll also frequently hear the verb irse, which means to leave or to go away, and this one is reflexive. So, Clara se va al trabajo. Clara goes to work or leaves for work. The difference is subtle but useful.
That's a fantastic nuance, especially for A2 learners who are starting to pick up on these finer points. Salir is more about the physical act of exiting a place, while irse implies a departure, taking oneself away from a current location with a destination in mind. So if I'm at your place and say I'm leaving, me voy is very common.
Precisely, it sounds very natural. So, Clara se va al trabajo. She's off. And there you have it, a complete morning routine, packed with essential vocabulary and those indispensable reflexive verbs.
That was a packed morning, but it gave us so much to work with. So just to recap, when we're talking about actions you perform on yourself, waking yourself up, getting yourself dressed, showering yourself, that's when you almost always need a reflexive verb in Spanish. And those little pronouns, me, te, se, nos, os, se, are your constant companions.
Exactly, and the best way to master them is to practice in context. Don't just drill conjugations, try to describe your morning routine using these verbs. What time te despiertas? What time te levantas? Do you te duchas in the morning or at night? Make it personal.
That's such a great tip, Wesley. Personalizing it makes a huge difference in retention. You can even write down a few sentences about your own day, just like Clara's. Me despierto a las 7:30. Después, me lavo la cara soclunzino. Even simple sentences make a difference.
They absolutely do, and an important grammatical point to remember is the placement of those reflexive pronouns. They almost always go before the conjugated verb, like Clara se despierta. But if you have an infinitive, you have two options.
Oh, that's a brilliant point. You can attach it to the infinitive, like voy a ducharme, I'm going to shower myself, or put it before the conjugated verb, me voy a duchar. Both are correct and sound perfectly natural. It gives you a little flexibility once you're comfortable.
Precisely. So, quiero lavarme los dientes or me quiero lavar los dientes. Same meaning, slightly different structure. Don't let it overwhelm you, just be aware that both are used by native speakers.
And remember, don't get too caught up in trying to be perfect right away. The goal is communication. Start with the basics and gradually expand your usage. The more you hear and use these verbs, the more intuitive they'll become.
Absolutely. That's why listening to native content, even when we break it down for you like this, is so crucial. It helps you internalize the rhythm and the patterns of the language. You start recognizing those sis and me's without even having to consciously think about the rule.
It's like building muscle memory for your brain. Think of Clara's morning as a foundation. You can adapt it, change the times, change the specific actions, but the core structure with those reflexive verbs remains solid. Maybe instead of se maquilla, your brother se afeita, the pattern is identical.
Totally. Mastering these daily routine verbs unlocks a huge part of everyday conversation in Spanish. You can talk about your own day, ask others about theirs, and understand descriptions of what people do. It's incredibly empowering for an A2 learner.
And don't forget the everyday vocabulary around it. A las 7, at 7, rápidamente, quickly, ropa cómoda, comfortable clothes, café y tostadas, coffee and toast. These are all essential for painting a full, vibrant picture of someone's day.
It really brings the language to life. So, for our listeners, try this challenge. For the next few days, every time you do a reflexive action in your own morning routine, try to say the Spanish verb and the correct pronoun out loud to yourself. Even if it feels silly, it reinforces the learning.
Fantastic advice. That consistent, active practice, even for just a few minutes, is where the real progress happens. And as Clara arrives at her architectural firm, ready to design the next amazing building in Madrid, we'll wrap up this episode of Learn Spanish Like I Did.
We hope this deep dive into daily routines and reflexive verbs through Clara's morning has been incredibly helpful for your Spanish journey. You've got this.
We certainly had a blast walking through Clara's day with you all. Keep practicing, keep listening, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's truly how we learn and grow in a new language.
Absolutely. For more resources on A2 Spanish grammar, reflexive verbs, and daily routine vocabulary, be sure to check out our website, learnspanishlikeidid.com, for 50% discount on our online Spanish language course.
And make sure you tune in next time for another exciting episode of Learn Spanish Like I Did, where we'll continue to demystify the Spanish language for you. Hasta la próxima.
Adios everyone, keep practicing, stay curious, and we'll talk to you very soon.